It had been over 3 weeks since Tanya had spoken with James. That is, with the exception of his leaving a few voicemail messages that she'd forced herself not to return, and the day she just so happened to be sitting in her office when he'd called her again. He'd wanted to know why she hadn't returned any of his calls, and he'd stressed over and over again that he really wanted to see her, needed to see her as soon as he could. But she told him in no uncertain terms that she couldn't, and that she had no choice but to stick to her decision of not seeing him again. Maybe if she'd met him before she'd married Curtis, things could have been different. But the truth of the matter was, she was married to Curtis, and until she moved forward with filing for a divorce, she just couldn't live with the idea of committing adultery. She'd been asking God on a daily basis to forgive her for the 2 evenings and the 1 afternoon she'd already spent with James as it was, but still, her feelings of guilt hadn't been lifted. She knew there were some women, and men too, who would have thought she was crazy, with Curtis frolicking around town the way he was. But she really didn't care about any of that, because she knew she had her own soul to be concerned with. She had always tried to do the right thing in the past, and for the most part, it had always worked for her, and she was going to try to do the right thing now as well. She didn't know what the future had in store for her, but she was going to keep her faith in God. It had been much harder lately, with her marriage being turned upside down, but she'd always been taught that a person needed to keep their faith strong, even when things had gone bad.